The next topic is the soil quality and soil health. Soil quality is the ability of the soil to perform the functions necessary for intended use. Whatever the ability of the soil to perform the functions necessary for its intended use is known as the soil quality. For example, if we are using this soil for the agriculture purpose, then that soil should have the ability to give the produce from that soil so that it will be used for the agriculture purpose or another purposes. Whatever the intended use of that soil which is carried out, and the ability of that soil is said to be the soil quality, or this soil quality is the capacity of the soil to function within the ecosystem and land use boundaries to sustain the productivity, maintain environmental quality, and promote the plant and animal health. Whatever the capacity of the soil to function within the ecosystem and land use boundaries to sustain the soil productivity, maintain environmental quality, promote plant and animal health is known as the soil quality. While soil health is the continued capacity of the soil to function as a vital living ecosystem that sustain the plants, animals as well as the humans. Soil quality is nothing but the ability of the soil to perform the functions which are necessary for its intended use, while soil health is the continued capacity of the soil to function as a vital living ecosystem which will sustain the plants, animals, and humans. We will see the concept of the soil health. In general, soil health and soil quality are considered as a synonymous terms, but this soil quality includes both the inherent as well as the dynamic quality. Inherent soil quality refers to the aspect of the soil quality relating to the soil's natural composition and properties influenced by the natural long-term factors and processes of the soil formation. These generally cannot be influenced by the human management. Whatever the soil's natural composition and properties which are influenced by the natural long-term factors and processes of the soil formation but cannot be influenced by the human management are the inherent soil qualities. While dynamic soil qualities are the equivalent to the soil health, refers to the soil properties which can be changed as a result of soil use and management over the human time scale or the use which is carried out by the human. Whatever the properties of the soils which can be changed due to the use of the soil or the management of the soil which is carried out by the human being, that is known as the dynamic soil quality. Soil health involves the idea that soil is an ecosystem full of life that needs to be carefully managed to regain and maintain our soil's ability to function optimally. The term soil health has been generally preferred by the farmers, while the scientists they have generally preferred the term soil quality because this related with the soil health, soil properties, and these will be affected by the use of the land or the management practices. Then we will see what are the different soil quality indicators. These soil quality indicators are used to evaluate how well soil will give the function, how this soil will functions, and this evaluation of the soil functions will be indicated by the soil quality indicators. Ideal soil indicators should be correlate with the ecosystem, integrate soil physical, chemical, biological properties as well as the processes, be accessible to the many users, be sensitive to the management and climate, be component of existing database, and be interpretable. These ideal soil indicators should be correlate with the ecosystem, integrate the soil physical, chemical and biological properties and processes, accessible to the many users, sensitive to the management and climate, component of existing database, and may be interpretable. There are three main categories of the soil indicators. There may be the physical indicators, chemical indicators, or the biological indicators. We'll see the soil quality indicators. First of all, the physical indicators. First important soil physical indicator is the aggregate stability. Another one is the available water capacity, bulk density, infiltration, and slaking. That is breaking of the large air dry soil aggregate greater than 2.5 millimeter into smaller size micro aggregates less than 0.25 millimeter when they are suddenly immersed in the water. If we see the physical soil quality indicators, there may be the aggregate stability, available water capacity in the soil, bulk density of the soil, infiltration of the soil or slaking of that soil aggregates, as well as soil crust and soil structure and macropores which are present in that soil. Then we will see the chemical indicators for the soil quality. There may be the reactive carbon present in the soil, electrical conductivity of the soil, soil nitrate present in that soil, pH of the soil. These four are the chemical indicators of the soil quality, in that reactive carbon, electrical conductivity of soil, soil nitrate and pH of the soil are the chemical indicators, and the biological indicators are the earthworms, particulate organic matter which is present in that soil, potentially mineralizable nitrogen content of the soil, various kinds of the soil enzymes, soil respiration, and total organic carbon content of the soil. These earthworms, particulate organic matter, potentially mineralizable nitrogen, soil enzymes, soil respiration, total organic carbon are the biological soil indicators. This soil health and how it is related with the crops, plants, genetics, and how these management practices these are carried out. These are shown in these photographs. We will see the characteristics of the healthy soils. These healthy soils should have the good soil tilth. Already you have learned the term soil tilth, and these healthy soils should have the good soil tilth, sufficient depth, good water storage as well as good drainage condition, sufficient supply of the nutrients but not excess of the nutrients. Otherwise it will show the toxicity symptoms, and hence these healthy soils should have the sufficient supply of the nutrients, small population of the plants. As there will be the smaller plant population, it will grow healthy. Pathogens and insect pest less population, as these pathogens and insects are reducing the productivity of the soil, it reduces the growth of the plants. Hence there should be the less population of these pathogens and insect pest, large population of the beneficial organisms, so that it will help to give the healthy growth of the plants, which will help to increase the productivity of the soil. Low weed pressure, as we know these weeds are utilizing the all resources which are applied for the crops, water, nutrients. These are used by these weeds which are not good for the healthy growth of the crops, and there should be the low weed pressure, free of chemicals and toxins that may harm the crop. Whatever the healthy soils, that should be free of the chemicals as well as the toxins, and it should not be harmful for the growth of the crop. Resistant to the degradation. The soil should be resistant to the degradation as well as resilience when unfavorable condition occurs. Resilience means as and when the soil is not used for the cultivation, and if again it is taken for the cultivation, that will give the healthy growth of the crop as and when these crops are cultivated. That is the resilience, means it remains dormant under the unfavorable soil condition, and as and when there will be the favorable soil condition, this should give the healthy growth of the crops. These are the characteristics of the healthy soils. If you see the questions which are asked on this topic, you may be asked, what is the soil quality and soil health? State the soil quality indicators, define soil health, and give the characteristics of the healthy soil. This is all about regarding this topic.